Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is turn 49, and finally, the Giants of Hinnom have fallen. So, the army was led through the breach by my 4 warrior chieftains, Gerlach, Cambria the Barbarian, Werkrata, and Fursomeris, and of course we had a whole bunch of undead and some axe warriors in the back. And all that was left to oppose us was basically mages. So we charged through the gap under a hail of magical damage. One of our warrior chieftains got aced by a lightning bolt. Here, Cambria the Barbarian was caught by wolves. But he fought his way clear. The heroes charged forward to assault not an AC caster, the Great Enchantress. Unfortunately, Cambria was a little bit on fire at this point, but he was doing okay. He was soldiering through it. Gerlach and Fursomeris both fine. They charged forward. There was an explosion. Unfortunately, the god of Hinnom went up in flames, almost killing Fursomeris outright. And in the chaos, I think it was Fursomeris that died. Yeah, Gerlach and Cambria lived, but Fursomeris was killed. And then the 2 heroes rushed around, slaughtering giant mages and priests until they were all dead. Gerlach actually got several kills there. Only 8 kills, and he already has 2 experience stars. And he and Cambria the Barbarian, Cohed's vengeful brother, charged up the stairs, or, well, tried to, excuse me, and the remainders of the giants were slaughtered. So, that is the final fall of Hinnom. We picked up our gear again, the Great Swords of Sharpness and the Armor of Knights that we dropped. Unfortunately, we did not get that Staff of Elemental Mastery. That's a shame. But we did destroy the enemy. 42 kills on those armies. Very, very impressive. So, Hinnom has now officially fallen. We have it. I am setting Gevudra to patrol with literally all of the units that were here, about 86 units. Gerlach is going to... Let's give him these boots, because he's pretty cool. He is going to race back home. Actually, he does need to stop off at a lab. I'm trying to cut these people off so they can't do any more damage. You should just research for now. Tell you what. You're reviving a king. You don't need to do that. You can actually reanimate instead. And then you can also reanimate. Then actually we should revive a king. We should do that. So let's revive a king as well. So, all these guys... So basically these guys have just been wandering around raiding me. We're going to send Gerlach actually to take... So we've got Blanco taking that province. Gerlach is going to move here to cut them off. And we have Gerulf, who is actually a warrior smith, but is well equipped enough, patrolling Peacehaven along with 1 province defense. So if they come back this way, we'll kill them there. Meanwhile, Gottschalk, whatever his name is, could go take that. That would bring in some money. Spectral archers. Let's move our scouts. We've actually pretty much blanketed this area in scouts already. That is a pretty significant Mictlan army. Who was he attacking? He was attacking Calum. Interesting. Okay. And Niflheim was attacking Rus with his Abductor, with Tiatsi the Abductor. Let's see what he's geared Tiatsi with. Probably a lot, because it's Tiatsi, and Tiatsi is definitely worth gearing with a lot. No, Tiatsi is totally ungeared. Interesting. Very interesting. So he just cast Invulnerability on himself, and then turned into an eagle. And I presume he's going to attack rear? Nope, he's going to spam skeletons. Interesting. I wonder why he's doing that. I mean, I guess it worked, so hey, who am I to judge? Raiding continues, but we actually, my defensive preparations paid off. We wiped this force that attacked us, lost our wolves, unfortunately. We wiped this force that attacked us with our Garnet Sorceresses and Horticulturists. So we can see here they come in, and we generate many, many bugs. And those many bugs basically charge in and cause a huge pain in the butt. And then my Garnet Sorceresses start throwing fire in, which doesn't actually help me because the bugs are more vulnerable to that than the ghosts are. But they do take them out. So, in Strongdale, we took the province. We beat the one hoplite sieging us in Illidar. In Peacehaven, we beat the one scout besieging us. In Behemoth's Rest, we captured the province with our Warrior Chief and Warrior Smith combo. In Bycliffe, we did lose. That was that one province we lost. And we took Sitha from the Independent Barbarians. In Saran Forest, we bounced an attacking force, a minor one. In Wick, we took a province with our Bane and besieged the fortress. And in Temiglia, this is where I was guessing these guys were going to go try to besiege my fort. Instead, they went to Temiglia. I guess they were pushed off they were repelled by the sight of my army there. So they went here. That's unfortunate because I did lose a couple of Garnet Sorceresses. But Pedosian is in the proper position, so he's going to actually move up to attack them. They could move to besiege my fort. I'm casting two Infernal Diseases at... you should be casting an Infernal Disease, please. Thank you. I'm forging another Bloodthorn with Seg, because I want to give it to... who was it I wanted to give it to? Somebody. There was somebody I wanted to give a Bloodthorn to. In any case, I want more Bloodthorns. But I'm forging that. I'm casting 2 Infernal Diseases at Temiglia. I threw 3 Infernal Diseases at Godhaven. I didn't succeed in outright killing anybody, but I diseased 2 of his mages, so they will die eventually unless he spends resources to keep them alive. Iyata is actually going to move down here, because I don't really care about defending this province too much. And Pedosian is going to, or Pedosian, or however you want to pronounce that. I'm hoping he can attack this army. I'm patrolling over here, and I've given a Bloodthorn to Simabeth because I've got some demons. And in particular, I've got a little pack of demons who are set to attack rear. So, I'm setting up a very small Sabbath with Simabeth, and then she is going to cast Bloodlust, which makes demons, it gives demons +4 strength. And then she will not do much, to be honest. Excuse me, it's late. I've got a front line of Fiery Imps who will get the extra strength from that, which will increase the damage and strength of their Throw Flames and their Pitchforks. How many flames do they have? 3? Yeah, so it'll definitely help them. I've got these guys on Fire Large Monsters trying to hit the Telkine, and I've got these 2 on Attack Rear. These Flyers are on Hold and Attack Large Monsters. I have Theodemar casting Poison Ward and then Strength of Giants on them in order to make them resist the Foul Vapors and then get strong. Actually, Strength of Giants won't help because they already have Strength. So instead, you should cast... what will help them? Cast Poison Ward twice to be sure you get them. Yeah, do that. Okay, so you're casting Poison Ward twice. Athanaric is casting Poison Ward twice up here. Actually, I'll tell you what. There should be a blood spell called Purify Blood, which I can't cast yet. Oh no, it takes the Nature Cross Path. That's right. Oh, that's so rough. Boy, I really wish I had that. That would be so nice because it's a battlefield-wide poison resist, and I have enough blood research to cast it. Shoot. Okay. So I need to empower a nature shaman in blood in order to get to that spell. Because it is, let me show you. Purify Blood is right here. Level 7. Takes 4 blood, 1 nature, 3 slaves. Costs 300 fatigue, and it protects the entire army from poison. Which is what I need when he's running around throwing foul vapors off of his stack. Now, Pedosian here can absolutely wade through foul vapors and everything, and with his Prot 24 and his regeneration and his fear and his elemental resists and all that, he should be able to just smack his way through this stack with no trouble whatsoever. Hopefully. We're gathering yet more blood slaves, as always. fewer this turn than I would have liked, because, of course, in these provinces I had to fight, and I actually had to use up some of my blood slaves, but we're working on it. Down here, good old Zigu, the Basalt King, who's been running around this whole time, he's definitely making progress. So, you know, Atlantis has captured that fort outright. They've got several provinces over here. They've still got that fortress. And of course, I am harassing Theranos fairly effectively down here. He's spreading out Hounds of Twilight pretty effectively, which is what he should be doing in order to counter Rend the Bane, who is now unequably obese and so much, much harder to kill. I really should get Rend some, like, upgrade Rend's equipment somehow. But the Flesh Eater is really vital for his function. Regenerating 4 hit points per turn, though, that's really, really good for him. I should get him, like, a Fear Helmet. That's what I should do. I should get him a Horror Helmet. Next turn I'll do that with my Death Gems. But, overall, things are going really well, actually. Research-wise, we are rushing down Enchantment, which means it's time to start saving up Earth Gems, because I want to get down to where I can cast Riches from Beneath, which I can do easily because I already have Death 5 available. I mean Earth 5. And then ideally Earthblood Deep Well, which would be a fantastic spell for me to cast. It would require me to empower once. The way I do this is I take Aoric here. Not Aoric, sorry. I take Arnold here. I give him Boots and I give him a Bloodstone. Bam, he's Earth 5. And so now all he needs is one more level, and he can also cast Earthblood Deep Well. Getting that last level will be a little bit challenging. I can't forge Staves of Elemental Mastery, and I don't think I have any other Earth boosters. If I go up to Construction 8, I think there's another Earth booster in Construction 8, but I don't really want to take the time to do all that research, because I'm still under 1,000 research points per month. My research is perfectly respectable at this point. If you look at my research graph, that's fine, but it could be better. And it would be nice if it was better. It's not top tier still, it's merely fine. That said, since I am in a really good position and a lot of other people are not, I anticipate that my research is probably among the better in the game, which is definitely a good place to be. This army in the Barren Crags worries me a little bit, but I'm fine with them fighting Calum, who has pulled back somewhat, but still is not in a great place. And so if Calum can just fight Mictlan for a while, that's fine. I would like to conquer the Obsidian Waste and claim it for myself at some point here. Unfortunately, I'm very, very low on cash, so I definitely do need to start replacing troops with summons in fairly short order. That's part of why I'm forging Bloodthorns, so I can start pumping out as many Demon Knights as I can, or casting, ideally casting Ritual of 5 Gates. But I can't cast Ritual of 5 Gates very easily because, you know, all my slaves are committed. I need to get another vampire or two as well. Irminsul is just researching for this turn. I'll give him one of those since he's researching. Might as well use them since I got him. And yeah, that's the turn, I think. This play, basically, if this army goes over here, there's going to be a huge fight, which I think I have decent odds in. Not perfect, but decent. The Foul Vapors might still screw me over, even though I'm casting the Poison Resistance. It'll still wipe out some of my troops, including a lot of my front line, unless they are hit by the Poison Ward, which many of them won't be. If he goes down here, Pidocyan will ruin him. He'll be annihilated by Father Illerth. I don't think he can stop that. I'm going to take this province with a Thane, a warrior chief who's been geared up, Aoric. If he goes down here, he will besiege this fort. Now that said, since I'm dropping the infernal diseases, I think I have decent odds, not great odds, but decent odds of killing off at least one of his commanders and trapping some of the army up here in Temiglia. So if we look at the army in Temiglia, he's got an E4 who will be easy meat for disease demons. He's got a Hecatoride who could be an easy target or could not, depending. She does have Awe, but disease demons have 30 morale, so they don't care about Awe. If she randoms Earth, then casting Iron Skin really stops disease demons in their tracks, since their attacks only do 14 damage. But, if she doesn't have an Earth random, which I can check that. I can check that. I can check that right like this. What's she got? Not the Spectral Peltast. She's got an air random, so yeah. Her I can probably take on. I wonder why she's disease resistant. That must be part of the bless. Yeah, that must have been part of his bless. Let me see. Yeah, I think because almost everything that I'm seeing is disease resistant, so that must be a general effect he's got going on. Disease resistant AD still doesn't save them because it reduces the chance of being diseased just by being, well, it reduces the chance of getting a negative effect from a disease, but it doesn't actually stop them from getting the disease in the first place. And of course, the disease demons can still just stab you to death, and since she does not have Earth, which is the protection boosting path, she can still very easily be stabbed to death by a disease demon, particularly because her attack is not magical, so she'll have to cast spells. So yes, if I hit her, I can probably kill her with the disease demon. I can definitely kill him. I can definitely kill him. Probably cannot kill the Telkine. Or Telkine is actually, I think, how it's pronounced. The Telkines are highly resistant to disease demons because they have Earth magic, they have death, and they have a lot of hit points and regeneration with the blessing. So, you know, I've hit her with disease demons before and it didn't work, and I don't anticipate it will work this time. But if I can hit any of these three, I'll be fine, which is why I'm tossing 2 at them to increase my odds. That will at least shave off some of the army, and that will enable Pedocion to destroy some of them, and then we'll kind of see where they go after that. It's an interesting little situation we're in. I'm actually going to recruit a regular shaman this turn to save a little bit of cash. And that cash I'm going to take and put into recruiting some units down here. Yeah, just get me some shield maidens, please. Great, so that is turn 49. You can see I'm taking all my troops here and rend the Bane, and I am charging into Bogger Wold in an effort to destroy this little army. He's got a number of Lamias that he's summoned, as well as a bunch of Claymen. He's summoning a lot of Claymen, which honestly I think might be a little bit of a waste, because Claymen are not very good, but then maybe he just has a surplus of water gems. I know I have a surplus of water gems, even though my water gem income is fairly low. Up here, actually, come to think of it, there's worse things that my water guys could be doing than summoning Claymen. Because they're regenerating and they ignore poison. So, like, what the hell? Why not? Give that to him. Okay, great. Yeah, so just, no, don't forage. Summon freaking Claymen. I could also summon cave crabs if I had any caves, and that would actually be pretty cool, because cave crabs are cool, but I don't have any caves. In fact, I don't think there are hardly any caves on this map. There may be 0. I think there are 0 caves on this map. So, that is going to be, unfortunately, impossible. But in any case, like I said, that is going to be the end of the turn, and I will see you all in the next episode, in turn 50. Take care. Alright, turn 50, and look at all these blood slaves. We're getting back into the groove of it. That's 35, 50, that's about 70 blood slaves this turn. And I'm thinking I'm actually going to save up a little bit instead of getting more vampires. I know I got 1 vampire lord, but to be honest, right now, I kind of have better things to do with them. In particular, I'm looking at my research. I'm up to 1,000 RP per month, which isn't terrible. Turn 50, I can live with that. If we look at my research graph, that's a nice curve to the research graph. A little bit flatter up at the top than I would like, but it is what it is. And I have, of course, been disrupted by the war. World War Ghost. So, lots and lots of skirmishing. I managed to kill an E4 with an infernal disease, which is nice. That was... It doesn't show me... I hate the way it doesn't show you the target province. But I did manage to kill an E4. I took this province back with Aoric. Up here, I killed a few ghosts and took Behemoth's Rest back. And I'm going to start moving these guys out. My little army here is going to move out with the 3 the 3 horsemen of the apocalypse leading it, Meliath, and the small blood communion backing it up with bloodlust for the demons, since I do have some demons here. The other option would actually be to try to summon more demons, but right now I'm a little more preoccupied. And my high-level blood mages who could be summoning demons right now are actually all throwing infernal diseases at Centennia, where I'm sure there are a whole bunch of commanders, and hopefully none that can just bounce disease demons, except for the Lord of the Waves. And I'm not certain that the Lord of the Waves is actually immune to diseases. In fact, I think he's not. Although I guess disease resistance is part of their bless. Well, we'll see. We might be able to do something. At the very least, we can probably kill off some of his spectral commanders. And of course, Infernal Disease is really cheap. The main cost is just a Blood 5 mage turn. So, that's what we're doing there. And we're still recruiting more Black Witches. Whoa, Black Witches, bam-a-lam. Whoa, Black Witches, bam-a-lam. Up here, we did a whole bunch of skirmishing. Unfortunately, I actually lost the Warrior Chief that was moving here to stop these guys. His defense wasn't high enough. He did eventually get poked to death. Still patrolling around here. Aggro Wolf is going to research. Cambria the Barbarian, however, who is leading a little army here, is actually going to move south. And that is so that he can, help take these guys out. Blanco is also moving in with his Storm Spool, which lets him shock people who attack him, so he might be able to do better than the last guy. And Cambria the Barbarian will move in. He is weakened, so he's only Strength 12. But Strength 12 will be sufficient with his Flesh Eater, and he'll clean these guys up, and then he will head south into these territories in order to make sure that the enemy never rests easy. That reminds me, I need to put some province defense back in there, and I need to put province defense back in here. And back in here. Great. Anywhere else I need to put province defense back into? I have 17 province defense here still, by the way. That's fine by me. You should research, since we are actually out of Astral Pearls at the moment. And Snazzy here needs to get some gear. Now, he's fully geared up. Once again, I have to emphasize, don't do this. This is way, way too much gear for a warrior chief. I'm doing it because in this specific situation, I feel like I can afford it, and it's kind of worthwhile, except the Vine Shields. Can't really afford the Vine Shields. But in terms of Earth, my Earth income is actually ludicrous right now. My Earth income this turn is 17 per month. And that's a big part of why I am going down enchantment. Because next turn, I will have access to Riches from Beneath and the hidden spells. I will definitely try to cast Riches from Beneath. May also try to cast Earthblood Deepwell, although that will take an Empower in order to do. My other option is to go down Blood to Blood level 8. And this is the reason I was talking about saving up Blood Slaves instead of getting more Vampire Lords. Because at level 8, I can have Rush of Strength, which is AoE Strength of whole battlefield Strength of Giants. I can have Life for a Life, which just straight up kills somebody, or rather does 40 plus armor negating damage with no resistance possible. I have Horror Seed, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if it's very useful, but kind of interesting. More importantly, I have 3 red seconds, which is an automatic fortress that I can use to take and hold territory. Or rather, I take a province, I cast 3 red seconds on it, and now it's a fortress. A really powerful fortress. And I have Blood Vortex. When you cast Blood Vortex, I have to make sure I understand exactly how this spell functions, because as I understand it, it kills population around it, and it gives you a huge income of Blood Slaves. And I feel like that would be a really useful thing to cast, but I need to figure out exactly how much population it kills and exactly where. Oh, and of course, once I boost up to level 6 Astral, I can, if I want, cast Astral Corruption. Which would be sort of hilarious for EA Ulm to be casting, but in any case, that's an option. That is always an option. I also have access to Purify Blood, but I need to empower a Nature Mage in Blood in order to do that, so I'll need to empower a Shaman, basically, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I have the Blood Slaves to do it this turn, so it might not be a bad idea, actually, because then I could empower Athanaric, drop him into a Sabbath with these 4. That would pump him up to Blood 3. If he's holding a Bloodthorn, he's Blood 4, and I think he could just cast Purify Blood right off the top of his head. Yeah. So actually, this army is not going to move out just yet because I am going to empower Athanaric in blood. Great. Instead, all these mages will research, and all these guys will just kind of hang out. Pedocion is attacking Oak Beach. I don't think they have any way to stop him. He's shock, fire, cold, and poison resistant. He causes fear. He regenerates really super fast. He has high prot, which will get higher. Well, it won't actually. He'll just temper flesh. He could cast Iron Skin. Actually, he might as well cast Iron Skin. I've been going kind of back and forth on that, but he may as well. It'll cost him almost no fatigue, and then he should probably cast Resist Lightning as well. So he'll just stand way, way back here. That'll be the last spell because it's the least important, since he will still have some shock resist. And with magic resistance of 26, he shouldn't be terribly vulnerable to spells either. And they haven't been using MR negate spells. In fact, if I recall correctly, Therados doesn't really get Astral, so he should be fine. And with Morale 30 and all, he should be able to take this army. Even with the Telkeen in it, I don't think they can actually kill him. At worst, they might rout him, but with Morale 30, he won't rout until the auto-rout hits at the end. And even then, he'll probably be surrounded by ghosts. And even if he does rout, he'll get away, almost certainly. If he were to die by retreating into enemy territory, that would be irritating, but it wouldn't be the end of the world because I can just summon him back. Runo can do that. Runo can summon him back at any time, and if Runo dies, all it will do is delay me a couple turns because I'll have to empower another guy like 3 times, which will cost me a couple turns worth of Blood Slave income and be a pain in the neck, but not be insupportable. So Pedocion can come back fairly easily, so I'm not too worried about him. For an SC, he's amazingly replaceable. And Calum is currently getting the absolute crap kicked out of them, and they're not doing anything with their blood. So what I'm hoping here is that Calum can basically hold their capital against Mechlin, which I think they can do. They've got Seraphs, they've got their Azi, they've got a couple of at least one Eagle King. So I think if Mechlin comes after them, there'll be a ruckus, and at the very least, Calum will do really well. Which is good, because I absolutely cannot allow Mechlin to get this province. Mechlin already has enough blood magic, which so far they don't really seem to be using. Like, I don't see blood hunters scattered around. But I do see some blood summons, so they have done some blood. It's just not been real apparent, I guess. Anyway, they don't have as much blood as me, which is the important factor. And to be honest, I still don't have a huge blood economy. Like, at this level, if you wanted to be a big, successful blood nation, at this point you should be pulling in like 100, 150 blood slaves per turn, something like that. That's one reason why I'm interested in Blood Vortex, because I would like to be pulling in a lot more blood slaves, because right now I am slave income limited. I am. It's like, you know, I'm empowering one guy and I'm casting some spells, and that's all that I have the blood income to do. So, over down here, I was attacked by a small army here in Illidar, and we can show that battle. It went actually pretty well for me. I lost, but in the process of losing, my skeletons, as you can see here, killed off both of his Hounds of Twilight, and they also killed off all his Lamias and most of his Claymen. However, I did lose an Antlered Shaman. One of my Antlered Shamans is already run at this point, I believe. I lost that one. And then they came in and they killed off the rest of my dudes who were standing still. So, I lost an Antlered Shaman, which was a pain in the neck. I did kill off, like I said, both of his Hounds of Twilight, so that's some gems down the tubes. And, more importantly, that's one of the counters to my Bane Thug down the tubes. And then I also killed off a good number of his troops. He's got about 50 left. I will be breaking siege this turn with Iata and her imps. And I'll also be bringing in Rend, who is, of course, unequaledly obese and doing fine. Over here, still, I'm casting Claymen more, so I'm getting some more regenerating unliving dudes of my own who are immune to poison, which would be nice. Other than that, not moving a whole lot of troops around. Just kind of doing my thing here. You can research. Snazzy. You are pretty snazzy at this point. You should move down south, or should you move over here? Actually, I'll tell you what you need. Well, you need the Girdle of Might for reinvigoration. Darn, because you need poison resistance. If only there was a hat of poison resistance. But I don't think there is. The only other way to do that would be to put on a Hydra skin instead of a Hydra skin armor instead of an armor of knights. But that costs nature gems, and since I lost Mother Oak, my nature gem income actually isn't great. So right now we're just kind of hanging out, waiting to get up to Enchantment 6. Once we get up to Enchantment 6, it'll be a couple turns before Arnold can cast Riches from Beneath, which will be nice, because it'll pump my income way up to the point that I can, or it'll pump my income up some, and I should be able to start affording a lot more troops after that. Still got a great sword of sharpness, a bloodstone, and several fires in a jar, plus armor of knights. Gonna give Iada the armor of knights, just to help keep her alive. Don't have a hat for her, unfortunately. Oh, and Rodolph is diseased. Damn it. That is so annoying. Still haven't researched Thaumaturgy level 4. Well, we'll get to it. Just hold your horses, Rodolph. You'll be alright. We'll get you a Thistle Mace and have you remove disease from yourself at some point here. But yeah, so that's going to be the turn. I think we're in pretty solid shape, to be honest. We're holding our own against Therados. If this army runs into Pedosian, I think Pedosian will win. And otherwise, this army is just kind of running around not doing a whole lot. So we can beat Therados on land. Now, invading the water, that's another question entirely. And that is where Atlantis is going to have to pull his weight. And to be honest, so far I don't really see it. So far I see Atlantis kind of getting the crap kicked out of him, which is a little bit unfortunate. He did take this fort, but this fort's about to change hands again. I don't know where Atlantis actually is, the capital. Jigu has been standing here for a couple turns, not doing much. So I really wish he would do something, because he's really powerful. And, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But we're definitely holding our own against Therados, and right now time is kind of on our side. So I'm happy to be, like, holding my own is good enough. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in turn 51. Alright, turn 51. We have beaten the Ghost Raiders down here. They are gone. We have a little army, actually, forming up here, about 100 units, coming in towards Arcocephale, which only has 11 province defense at the moment. I am moving 3 little Ulmish thug boys in to try and stop them. Gottesschalk and Cambria the Barbarian, my prophet, are fairly well geared up. Blanco, unfortunately, is not. He does have the Storm Spool, but he is very likely to die, I would say. I think odds of his death are good. Cambria is on attack rear. Blanco. I think actually I'm going to put all 3 of these guys way up at the top. And I'm just going to set them all to attack rear in the hopes of getting around the enemy and stabbing their commanders to death, while the province defense serves as a distraction. In pursuit of that, I'm actually going to kick the province defense up to 20. So now that's like a reasonable number of units. And wait, hold up. Hold the phone. They get a shaman in the province defense? That's hilarious. I mean, cool, but hilarious. Also, 1 axe warrior. Huh. Yeah, getting a shaman at level 20. I had never noticed that before. Hold the phone. Yeah, they get it. They just get a shaman. Their second commander, the Ulmish second commander, is a shaman. That's really cool. So you get like an actual mage as a province defense commander. Huh. Fascinating. Down over here, so I have liberated Ilidar. Blood hunting proceeds apace. Now, I did get a message here in Sarin Forest. Where was it? A very deadly disease is spreading in Sarin Forest. 160 people have died. That is the message that you get when something with the Reaper ability is in a province. Normally, that thing is someone carrying a Bane Venom charm. Now, looking at the amount of population, Bane Venom charms are, I believe, 10% Reaper, and it only killed, I think, 5% of the population. So I'm not sure what has a 5% Reaper ability and is stealthy. I do, and this is an uncomfortable thought, I do know that Telkeens have a 5% Reaper ability. I don't know if the Therados National Hero Telkeens have that 5% Reaper off the top of my head. However, these guys are just researching right now because I don't have any big blood spells for them to cast right at the moment. I have quite a number of troops patrolling here. But if there's a significant chance that that's a Telkeen, which I think there is, actually, I'm going to have these guys patrolling as well. And I am going to give them blood slaves. 6 each, I think. Actually, I'm going to give them more than that. I'm going to give them 9 each. And I'm going to have them patrolling with orders to spam Hellbind Heart behind the province defense and the units. So you are going to be on, because Hellbind Heart, it costs 1 slave, takes 100 fatigue, and it's just a charm attack. If you fail a magic resistance roll, you are captured by the caster. And since they are all blood 5, all 3 of them, they can cast this for, they're 3 levels over, so 50, 33, they can cast it for 20 fatigue. Should be. No, 25 fatigue, I'm sorry, for a quarter of the fatigue cost. So they should be able to cast it like a lot. With 9 slaves, should be pretty easy. They can also, of course, cast Leech. Which just, that would be the spell to just kill if this is a Telkeen. God, I hope it's not. If it is, then Hellbind Heart would be hilarious and fantastic. So we're just going to script. Let's script. Well, first of all, we're also going to need a Nature Mage, just in case. So let's have Gilly also patrolling, because she's not doing anything right now, and we'll give her 2 Nature Gems. And so let's set this up. Let's set this up. Sag. So we've got patrollers up here and up there. Over there. Excuse me. And over there. Sag, Runo, and Kakara. And then Gilly needs to be right behind them. And Gilly is going to cast... Where is the... Yes, Poison Ward. She's going to cast Poison Ward twice. And then cast spells. And Poison Ward has range 15, so... Whoops, wrong button. We're going to want... Actually, what we're going to want is we're going to want them in the middle of this blob a little bit, so that the Poison Ward will hit them, because it'll tend to target blobs. Then, Kakara is going to be scripted to, we're going to hold 1 turn. Actually, instead of hold, it's going to be attack 1 turn. Oh, but the blood slaves won't move with her, will they? Hold 1 turn. And then spam Hellbind Heart. And we're going to give that to the others as well. So, yep. Hold and Hellbind Heart, hold and Hellbind Heart. And we're actually going to put them, like, way up front. Just to make as sure as we can that they'll be in range. if he is trying to raid me with a Telkine, which would be an interesting decision, but one that might actually, weirdly enough, pay off. He might have it scripted to just stand way at the back for the whole battle, which is, I mean, fair. Like, I could see him doing that. And there isn't any reason he wouldn't, necessarily, but I'm hoping he hasn't considered... Like, I'm legitimately just kind of hoping that he hasn't considered the possibility of Hellbind Heart. I've just noticed this province is completely cut off by rivers. Fascinating. So it can only ever actually be attacked from water. See, there's a river going over there, and there's a river right there. Wow. The things the Dominion map generator does. This is the Horror Culted province, which doesn't seem to have done anything yet, which is good. We'll just hope. I mean, it's summer of year 4. That happened early winter of year 3, so it's been quite a while since that happened. So I'm just going to continue hoping that nothing bad will happen. Still forging armor of knights, still forging lightless lanterns. Anselhelm, you should forge. Should you forge firebrands? It cost me more fire gems. Scepters of Authority are kind of cool. I could forge gate cleavers, but I don't really need them at the moment. Instead, let's forge... Yeah, let's forge Girdles of Might and or Fires in Jars. Let's do Girdles of Might real quick. My Earth Gem income is still perfectly fine. I have hit enchantment level 6, so I could cast Riches from Beneath if I had 70 Earth Gems. I should be getting there fairly soon, like 3 or 4 more turns, and I'll be ready to throw down Riches from Beneath. A little slow, but I think I'm doing fine, to be honest. Once I take this province, of course, my Earth Gem income will go back up by 3, as well as Astral and Air income going up by a little. I have Pedosian took this province and is besieging this fort. We're going to maintain the siege with Hanno, and Pedosian is going to attack Marverni itself in an effort to destroy this army. My little thugs here are going to hop down into White Forest, where they will inflict wanton and rampant destruction. We're just going to set them both to attack rear, and they'll be, like, down. Yeah, let's not split them up. Let's keep them together. Dagilo here. He might be in a pickle because he's going to be moving here, which means his path is going to be predictable. Unfortunately, I screwed up here. I forgot to put any province defense back on it, and so he besieged this fort with a scout, just on the off chance it would work, and it did, because I'm dumb. So I do have to break the siege, so my army can't move into White Forest this turn, which is super unfortunate. To be honest, it kind of makes me want to hide with Aoric. Because if he gets into a really big battle, he will still die. Tell you what, actually. What I could do is, I could move all 3 of them into this fight. Because I've got Pedosian standing back here. And I've got 2 warrior chiefs. Like, right like that. And he's doing 4 rounds before attacking rear. And he's casting 4 spells. So if we just hold 4 turns, then they should get Iron Warriors. That's AoE 1. They're all size 2. They should all be in the same square. And Pedosian can be right in front. And he is casting... let's actually do the Iron Skin first. And then Temper Flesh, and then Resist Lightning. Yeah. I think that will just about do it. So that'll kick both of these guys up to about prot 30 or so. Or a little bit higher. And Pedosian will be up to prot like 20... I mean, I think he'll actually have lower protection than them, funnily enough. Why? Oh, because he's wearing an iron crown? Wait, hold on. Yeah, because they have iron caps, which are prot 16. He's wearing an iron crown, which is prot 9. So his head protection right now is 19, and their head protection right now is 16. Well, hold on. I'm having trouble making this math add up. It's because they don't, none of their protection is coming from... I'm confused. Anyway, the point is they'll all be very high protection, and Pedosian will also be regenerating and have morale 30, and he has 130 hit points. So this whole group is not going to HP route unless Pedosian routes, which he won't because he's morale 30, unless the battle is actually lost. So, I think that'll be fun, and we'll see how it happens. And then down here, these ladies can all, let's bind more, oh, that's right, I've committed all my blood slaves. Never mind. Let's do nothing. Let's research. Fine, be that way. So boring. Meliath. Once I get up to Conjuration level 7, Meliath will have some things to do, because she's Death 3. But until then, she's just kind of chilling out for right now. Carrying Death Gems to cast Weakness on people, or Enfeeble, rather. Yeah, so in other news, I did cast Infernal Disease 3 times. I managed to kill 1 Kabaros, and I diseased and injured at least 1 more. Oh no, this was the same one. Promnian, diseased and chest wounded. So wait 1 second, hold up. Who was this first one that I fought for the first time? Amphoteros. So Promnian was attacked twice and died. Amphoteros was diseased. See, the problem is when they cast Iron Skin, they're wearing armor, so when they cast Iron Skin, their protection goes up to 24. And these 14 damage touches of leprosy just don't do it at that point, because they're 10 points lower. So Amphoteros is diseased, but disease resistant. So I managed to kill 1 for 15 blood slaves and disease 1, which is okay. That's a exchange that I'll take. Let's actually see Father Illith's first deployment, albeit it was against nothing in particular. But he summoned Earth Power, he Tempered Flesh, he Iron Skinned, and he Legion of Steeled himself? Interesting. I don't think it helped. Why'd he cast... Oh, well, he cast Legion of Steel because there's no lightning on the field, so he doesn't need that. He doesn't need lightning resist. And then he moved up and just blasted them to death with his Firebrand. Even in triple fast forward, he is so slow. So incredibly slow. Because, of course, he's combat speed 3. Because he has 7 encumbrance from his armor. Go, you slow little Rocky man. Slow, huge Rocky man, more like. Oh, it brings me so much joy. So this is where we beat the attacking force in Peacehaven. This little raiding force did attack my fort 1 more time, and they ran into Gerulf the Warrior Smith with his armor and his sword and his furious anger. And with Iron Skin and Temper Flesh, he's Prot 31 and takes half damage, which makes him extremely tough. And then he just charges into combat to stab people with his giant magical sword. It looks like a hammer, but I promise it's a giant magical sword. It's too bad his attack isn't better than 15, because their defense is 15. He still hits occasionally. He hits often enough. The acme of excitement. Anyway, we know how this goes. He slowly cuts them to death. Local sect, lost some gold there. There's the very deadly disease. We killed a Therodian scout in the Weald, which is this province here. I'm still not summoning more skeletons, because right now I feel like more skeletons would be kind of unnecessary. They're not going to be great against ghosts, and I can mass produce them with a snap of my fingers if I need to, so I'm not too worried about it right at the moment. I can move these ladies over there to be ready for it, actually, so I'm going to move 2 of them, probably. And if necessary, I can just turn on the skeleton faucet and pump out 10 skeletons for 2 death gems until I run out of death gems. So, like, my income is 60 skeletons per turn, if I want to be mass-producing skeletons. And actually, I'll tell you what, I should be producing some skeletons on a steady basis. So let's do, like, Let's do 2 lots of skeletons per turn. Let's do 4 death gems turned into skeletons per turn. That'll be good. Zaginthu is moving towards the Cursed Land. There's a big old pile of soulless and slaves here. I think this Civitateu seems to be just raising soulless constantly, just reanimating them, which is murdering the population of this province. For sure. Up here, is sort of reestablished himself. He did... Looks like there was a battle in Henwood. A whole bunch of fiends or something appeared and attacked. And this is Kufladen the Shedu, so this is his god. 4 earth, 4 astral. He has a chest wound and a never healing wound. He has a ton of hit points. And he's a flying trampler. And he's up against a pack of fiends of dark... Oh no. Important quality. Does he have poison resistance? He does not. He does not have poison resistance. He does have temper flesh. But then, yeah. He's getting super poisoned. He does have an astral shield. But he's lost quite a few hit points already. And the poison is just continuing to hurt him, like, a lot. And he's just getting stabbed a lot. Some of these guys are paralyzed by the astral shield, but some are not. And the number of attacks that are coming in, his defense skill is very low because of the harassed penalty, so look at how quickly his HP is dropping. And his poison bar is, like, freaking maxed out. Yeah, he needed some poison resisting here. Also, the trample is not really doing much, and the armies of are routed, so he ran. And I think if you rout, like, look at the little green numbers there. See how they're all stacked on top of each other? I think if you rout all of your poison ticks at once. Yeah, he died. He was killed by 13 Fiends of Darkness due to lack of poison resistance. Ouch. That sucks. Okay then. So, that's the turn. Just doing a little bit of ghost fighting. Getting some more blood slaves back into the economy here. You actually should give your blood slaves to this gentleman, who can drop them off here. And we're doing fine. We're having a good old time. I hope that this army comes out to fight me. I really do. I hope that it moves this way. It might move this way, in which case I'll be really sad because it will kill these two. I'm actually not going to do it. I'm gonna move away. We're gonna do this. We're gonna have them scatter. If this army moves up this way, it'll find nobody. If it moves down here, it'll run into Aoric. But Pidocion will go and sit on Marverni, which is a really useful province, and he'll sit on it and stop them from getting any use out of it while my army moves up. And my army will be able to do at least some of the business. It'll be able to do some business. And so that will be the plan. Yeah, I don't have any really good death summons. Actually, I have Pale Riders. I tell a lie. Never mind. Cast Pale Riders, Meliath, please. Add some more poison immune undead to this army. Poison immune undead cavalry flankers. That'd be cool. Okay, so that's going to be the turn, and I will see you all in turn 52.